Insert, update, delete. The three basic fundamentals of almost any database that exists out there. And for the most part, all the biggest social media platforms, or rather websites that harbor online communities, allow their users to have the very limited access to these three functions when it comes to the user's own data, especially when it comes to text data. So posting on any of these platforms, pictures or videos with captions or descriptions, and also posting comments or replies is the insert part. Editing any of these is the update part, and removing or taking down is deleting. But Twitter just doesn't roll with the update part. You gotta make sure what you post doesn't make you easy to roast. Now, of course, people have been mildly complaining about this for years. Well, maybe. I haven't been using the platform long, but I assume that an edit feature is what people have been longing for in order to make the platform slightly better for various reasons. But I think the opposite. In fact, I think that an edit button would probably, more than anything, make an awful addition to Twitter. Now, I kinda like Twitter. I know that's probably a crime to say since the general consensus around Twitter is that it's probably in the top 1 worst websites to ever exist. Alongside, well, nothing, it's top 1. And a lot of big and some of my favorite creators on the internet hate it with a passion. And that makes sense actually. Most of the complaints anyone ever has of the platform largely revolves around the communities that come along with some of the worst takes out there, making most people rethink the rights some people have to freedom of speech. But this leads to the first reason why I think Twitter can do without an edit feature. In a platform that largely revolves around people saying stuff, editing anything is giving one too much power, or perhaps too much freedom of speech instead. Remember, this is the internet. An objectively correct answer to anything only has about a 30% chance of winning against a funnier response. So imagine a scenario where some guy comes in with probably the worst take ever, and they've been rightfully ripped to shreds in the quote retweets and replies. But they have the ability to change whatever nonsense they wrote to something stupid like the words phallic member, then everyone would have responded to a penis tweet. Now, we don't want that, do we? This will also be the case when it comes to just general interactions and arguments. Some guy will give well thought out responses to a person who has no idea what they're talking about, and the L his opponent took won't be as apparent if his opponent can just go back and make him seem like he was talking to a brick wall. The trolling will be at a maximum, and I'll see this on other platforms as well. Has this ever happened to you? You finish watching a YouTube video and just like any other standard YouTube experience, you scroll down to the comments and they're mostly okay as usual, if there are any. And then you see what seems to be a random slap in the face from someone you will probably never ever meet. It's just like, man, it hurts. I'm being left out again. This may or may not be the single biggest issue I would have with an edit button. I'm such a spiteful person, and whenever I see this kind of stuff, it just feels like that Thanos and Scarlet Witch meme. This person doesn't care about me. They don't even know who I am. I've experienced this kind of thing before on Twitter actually, in the form of a retweet, of a quote retweet, of a deleted tweet. Funny thing is, I tweeted about it myself as well. Damn, that's a lot of tweets. But that deleted tweet is out of shame, and it's not really a troll of any kind. However, I do understand that an edit feature would mostly be used to correct errors or mistypes and unintended mistakes here and there. I think this is the most solid argument to make against my case. In a platform where you can instantly express yourself, you'd want to be able to do so without any typos getting in the way. And to that I say, just get good. You have time. There shouldn't be anyone out there eagerly waiting for your next tweet to drop. And I see some people are just like, oh, I've got no time to waste on rereading my tweets. And I'm just like, come on, man. On average, you don't even use that many characters. Just proofread. I've also seen some people throwing around the idea of being able to see the unedited tweets, and that's also a solid argument actually. And while I'll admit that would probably solve all my prior issues with an edit button, I also find the suggestion to be hilarious because it could create new issues with an edit button. And also because it would just actually be hilarious. The meme potential is there, and I kinda wanna see that. However, it would get old really quickly because there'll just be an oversaturation eventually. And also, that isn't gonna stop people from roasting you in the replies. In fact, it would further emphasize the fact that you can't run away from your incompetence. Besides, logically, people are mostly understanding, especially when it comes to typos. Less so when it comes to grammatical errors, but hey, that's just a genuine learning experience. Now having an edit button, that would just be easy mode. I do not want any of these people to have an easy mode for anything. Also, the last thing I want to see on my timeline is a trending tweet that reads, "OMG guys, thank you for so many likes. I've never had so many. By the way, subscribe to my OnlyFans." Well, okay, I don't know why I thought of OnlyFans first, but the shameless plugs will be off the charts, in place of something that is very well managed with the Twitter threads. No amount of seeing the original tweet could ever save you from seeing those vibrator ads. And also you can do a lot with that thread function or whatever it's called. I'm not entirely adept at the extensive intricacies of Twitter by any means. Of course, I'm not sure I'm presenting the best arguments against having an edit button on Twitter. You probably already wrote off my case the moment I said I like Twitter. But as I said before, the issue with it lies within the hectic communities and the drama that constantly unfolds there. But thankfully, I've steered clear of such nonsense, and the only reason I know of any drama is because of the multitude of YouTube videos and channels covering it. Me liking Twitter could also be attributed to the fact that I haven't been using it long, and I don't use it that much actually. I have like less than 10 actual tweets and a few replies, no followers, but I have a lot of likes. However, it is still early days, and I'm well aware of the fact that this statement just might not age well, and I haven't been using it as much as a chronic tweeter who's been using it since the platform's inception. So they might need an edit button for something I couldn't possibly comprehend. Alright, listen. In a post YouTube removes dislike button world, something that no one asked for, here I am going against something people actually asked for. It's like, who do I think I am? But the difference between this and that is that YouTube removing the dislike button is actually concerning for a number of reasons. And yeah, I'm against it. I'm not an idiot. I'm actually still kind of salty about that. But as much of a bad idea I think adding an edit feature is to Twitter, I'm not totally against it. The ethos around editing comments and captions on the internet is generally okay. And I feel like the Twitter community somewhat has the power to keep the trolls in check. But I really do think that's hardly enough to keep the energy for what makes Twitter, Twitter. For better or for worse. The appeal of Twitter, at least in my opinion, is that it's a platform full of real people. Well, kinda. And I just find it weird that some people are just so obsessed with making themselves seem credible when they clearly are not if they just don't read their tweets before posting. The official Twitter account said it best. You don't need an edit button. You just need to forgive yourself. Alright, I've said most of what I wanted to say. It's currently almost 5 a.m. as of the time I'm recording this outro, and while I was looking for footage to edit into my video, I find that I'm actually going against MKBHD. He has a Dear Twitter where he extensively explains how an edit feature can be implemented on the platform. That took all my confidence from me, posting this video from like a 5 to like a 2. But I think I'm just gonna do it anyway. His solution is actually almost perfect. It's just that what's the difference between 60 seconds before and after you post a tweet? And also when he said other platforms have an edit feature, that kind of reminded me of something someone else said on another video. But I digress. I am definitely going to die on this hill because this opinion is not wise. But that's all it is, an opinion. And if you disagree, I'm up for discussion. Anyway, if you made it through the entire video, please leave a like, and also thank you for watching.